Rhyce. Firstly, I guess a great story during the week, a heartwarming story with Majak. How do you feel about that as a club? How pleased are you for him?
It's been a long road for Madge, as we all know. He's had some really tough periods over the last couple of years, and through the support of his family, his friends, his teammates, and the club, he's been able to get to a position now where we think he's ready, and he's done the work, and we couldn't be more pleased. And I'm really happy about being able to give Madge the chance to get out in the AFL footy field again. And I think you saw the reaction of his teammates and how much he means to us, and what he's been able to do over the last couple of years. And I think it's a great story and a really heartwarming story for not only footy but for sport in Australia.
How much? I was just going to say, how much should we expect from him tomorrow, Rhyce? Like, is it understandable he'll be rusty, or you think he'll slot straight in? Sort of, what should we expect?
Yeah, I think Madge will go all right. Like we're not we're under no illusions. We're not in a position just to pick a player just because he's there. We've put in a bit of work with him. I know Jay Rawlings has done really good job with him in our big man program, and it's he's been exceptional in that, and he's put in the work. He's played a couple of scratchies early days a few weeks ago and got his touch back, and now it's just been about training well and putting his hand up, and we think he's in the best position he's been in to give us a really good performance on the weekend. So I'm really pleased with where Madge is at right now.
Are you bringing it all out of the side with Majak coming in, or do you plan to go fairly tall, three bigs at each end?
Yeah, just on that, Mark, we've made a couple of changes, and it's just one of those periods where we're in a position now after 6 losses on the trot that we've got to make some decisions that are the best for the team at this point in time, and we've made the decision to leave Benny Brown out this week and Jared Polec. So we'll bring in Madge, obviously, and Aidan Bonner will come back into our side.
That's obviously going to be well scrutinised, that decision. Can you talk us through how you came to that? Was it just based on form? Is it anything to do with what you obviously revealed during the week, or is it purely on form?
Yeah, from my perspective and my conversations with Benny, it's obviously been a tough period for him off the field, and we all feel for him in that scenario, but it's also been pretty tough for him on the field, and he's been working really hard, as I said to you guys last week, but he just hasn't been getting the results, and we're in a position now where we have to get some results, and we feel as though this is just the right time for him to step out of the side and make way for Madge. And Benny was exceptional with the conversation that I had with him, and he understands his situation, but to Ben's credit, he just wants to work hard and create opportunities for himself, and I know he's doing that.
Do you think it might act as a circuit breaker for him, Rhyce?
Yeah, Peter, I think it's one of those situations where Ben's a great player, and we all know that. But if you keep doing the same thing over and over again and getting the same result, then there's got to come a point in time where we do make those decisions, which is best for him and best for our team, and hopefully it is that circuit breaker, and he can find himself again and get going, and I know he will, because he just works too hard for it not to change.
So is he in a position now, Rhyce, where he might play scratch matches and needs to sort of fight his way back into the side, or is it something else you need to see from him before you potentially bring him back in?
Yeah, we probably don't have the luxury of playing scratchies at the moment. We've got 2 4-day breaks coming up, so, and especially with our injury list at this point in time, it's probably not the right thing for us to be putting our players at risk. But Ben's he wants to train. He wants to train hard. He wants to push for selection next week. And when you think about it, we have got 3 games in 9 days essentially. So it'd be likely that he'd play a part in one of those games coming up. But Ben understands why he's out, and he understands what he needs to do to get back in.
So is that the same as Polec as well? That's a form thing as well for Jared Polec.
Yeah. For Jared, it's probably a different story. His body of work over the last month probably hasn't been up to the standard that we expect, and he understands that. He knows exactly where I stand on that with him, and he trained today actually and trained pretty well. So we're looking just for a form reversal from him and get him going so that we can get the best out of Jared going forward.
Rhyce, there's obviously going to be some discussion about Ben's future in the coming weeks, particularly being out of the side. Do you still see him being a long-term player for North Melbourne?
Yeah, look, I'm not going to comment on any of that. No, I don't have time to worry about that stuff. I'm trying to get the best out of Ben, do the best thing for him and get him going right now. We're in a situation at the moment, as I said before, we've lost 6 in a row, so we just want our players playing at their best, and I think this is the best way to get Ben doing that.
Rhyce, just on Majak coming back in, and you said you obviously lost 6 in a row. Is that the kind of positive, your positive news, positive feeling around the group that you kind of need to arrest the slide?
Well, it's hard not to get a smile on your face when you see the big fella get the reception that he did when he was told. And our boys, as I said before, our boys love him. The club loves him, and he's just a bundle of energy for us. And I know the boys are taking a bit out of it, and I'm really pleased with the way the guys are going about it and the way Madge has gone about it. And I think we should see a pretty good performance from Madge and the boys on the weekend.
You've had a lot to do with him, Rhyce, in the 2 years you've been there, or year and a half. How emotional was it for you just to see him come back, given where he was in December and so on?
Yeah, I've actually had a couple of chats with a few people. I've obviously only been here just over 2 years now, but just seeing what he's been through and how difficult a period that is, and every time we seem as though he's on the road to achieving the ultimate of getting back to AFL. Something's got in his way, and to his credit, and I don't know if Madge gets enough credit for this, but he is a resilient bugger, and he puts it all out there for everyone to see. He's shown great courage in talking about his mental health battles, and we're really proud of him for that as a football club. And yeah, it was an emotional time, and I must admit, when we were talking about it as a coaching group, it was when you sit back and actually think about it, it's pretty special. It's really special what he's doing, and we're just really proud of him, and I'm proud of him for getting to this point, and hopefully he can take a few clunks for us.
Just back on Jared Polec, Rhyce, I know you touched on him a few moments ago. He had a bit of a different role, it seemed like, to start with last week, and that changed during the game. And I think he even got some coaches' votes. I take it that wasn't from you. Did he just not perform the role that you were hoping for last week? I know scripts for a while.
Yeah, that's spot on. And it's more about his role in playing that, and we've spoken about that as a group, and that's really important for us as a football team. And again, we're trying to create something that's long lasting at this footy club, and we've got certain standards and behaviours that I am judging our players by and judging our team by, and we just need everyone to live up to those standards and behaviours, and we'll get that, and everyone's got to be held accountable to that. So that's where that sits, and I know Jared will bounce back. He's too good a player not to, and again, he'll play a part over the next week or so because of those compressed games.
Rhyce, did it hurt you as a coach that you are playing in a game between the 17th and the 18th ranked teams in the competition halfway through the season?
Pardon, Mark, I didn't actually hear that first bit, sorry.
Broke up a little bit.
Yep.
I'm just asking, as a coach, does it hurt you being in a game between a side ranked 17th and 18th halfway through a season? Does that hurt you as a coach?
Oh, definitely. Like as I said at the start of the year, my goal is to win flags and be successful as a footy club. That hasn't changed, but to be in the position we are, it's really disappointing. I'm not going to shy away from that. We've lost 6 games in a row, and it's not acceptable at any stage. But I'm really confident in the process we're taking and the journey that we're on. We know that it hasn't been acceptable the last 6 weeks, but we also know that there's been some real positives come out of this, and we've got some young blokes that are playing some really good footy that have really stepped up and shown the way, and some of our older blokes have been exceptional, and we can take the positives out of that. We can take the learnings from the disappointment and move forward. But yeah, it's not obviously the greatest feat to be playing 17th v 18th.
Touching on those young guys, you mentioned Bailey Scott. I imagine he's one of those players last week showing a bit. That's what you're trying to get out of this season now?
I don't know if it's what we're trying to get out of the season. I'm here to win every single footy game that I compete in, and I know the boys are too. The fact that we've got some young guys that are really stepping up is really pleasing for us as a football program, and I think Jai Simpkin's taken a step towards the top end of the midfielders group. Bailey Scott certainly stepped up. Nick Larkey's come back and shown how good he can be in limited game time last week, and we're really pleased with those guys. And Curtis Taylor, Jack Marnie, they're getting games, but they're certainly holding up their end of the bargain, and we just need a consistent performance across the board to get the results that we want.
How is Jai Simpkin going with the ankle injury he suffered against Richmond? Obviously, he played last week. Is he fully over it?
He says he's 100% fine. He says that every single day. Even when he hurt his ankle, he said he was fine. So he's a tough bugger as well, and I tip my hat to Jai. He doesn't complain. He just works hard. He wants to be the best, and I love watching him go about his work, and he's fine.
Hey Rhys, if I could just ask about Ben Cunnington, is it getting to the point where no progress is sort of being made in this rehab that you put him aside for the rest of the year and can get him right for next year?
No, I don't think it's at that stage. Ben's making progress. It is slow, and we're assessing him every week. We'll just see how that goes. That's a medical decision, and we're working through that at this stage. But there's no way he's putting the queue in the rack.
Any of the girls heading off to the footy on the weekend, Rhys?
Wouldn't think so, Peter. All right, thanks, guys.
Rhys, can I just ask, how's Twin Waters treating the guys, mate? You the stay going all right for you there?
Yeah, it's been great up here. We've been really fortunate. The AFL have really looked after all the teams that have come up here. We're very privileged to be in this position and being able to still play footy whilst being looked after from a living perspective. And yeah, it's been great. It's good the sun's come out over the last week, and the boys been able to enjoy that a little bit and train in some really good conditions. So no, it's been fantastic under the circumstances.
I'll ask a serious one. Rhys, sorry, just about Madge. I assume he'll play forward. Is that the plan?
Yeah, we're still weighing that up a little bit, Peter. We just we'll have a look at the teams and where that sits. He's trained as a forward of late, but as we all know, he's an elite defender when he gets the opportunity. So we'll just weigh up where that looks, and for us, but that's what Madge provides. He provides great flexibility. He can play anywhere on the field, so it's a real feather in his cap for that. And our flexibilities goes to another level with Madge.
Rhys, just on stay in the hub, how are the players, families and partners finding it so far?
Yeah, we've had a couple of families. I think it's about eight partners and their families that have been up here since we came up. Jen Anderson's kids have been a real pain in the arse most of the time, but they're good kids. Elijah and Josiah. but it's been good. I really love it. I love having the kids around. Breaks up the day. They provide a smile for everyone, and a bit of cheekiness around the groups never hurts. So I love having the families around, and it's good to see them here, and gives the boys a bit of a pep up as well.
Just on that, Rhys, and I only asked because Hester made it public around their bittersweet announcement of the impending birth of a child. How do you handle that as a group when someone's going through such a personal issue and you're all together?
Yeah, it's obviously up here is just really different circumstances to what we're used to at any point in our footballing life, and to be in each other's pockets every day is completely different. And we know boys wake up on the wrong side of the bed sometimes, and we just got to allow that to happen. And people go through different circumstances in their life, and we try and treat each individual case on its merits. And obviously Brownie and Hess have been going through a fair bit, and we've been trying to support them as much as we possibly can, as we have with all our other players as well. So our club's been fantastic, and we've got the right support around them whenever they need. So I'm really happy with where that sits, but it is obviously different to what we've experienced anywhere else.